Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my point of view. I got a request a few days ago, and I haven't done a video in a few days. I got a request for freedom of the press. Freedom of the press is covered by the First Amendment, which gives the press certain rights. The government itself is not allowed to go after the press at all, period, because the press is supposed to have freedom to report as they see what's going on. They do not have the freedom to report a lie. They do not have the freedom to push their own agenda. Unfortunately, that's what's happening today. The only thing they have the freedom to do is report the facts as they come in. They're not allowed to voice an opinion about it. They're liable for that. Now, freedom of speech, a person can say whatever they see. A person can spout out a lie and not be held accountable. The media, the press, has to be held to that little bit of a higher standard. Because if some press secretary decided, well, some reporter decided to write a story on me and call me this, that, and the other thing, I have the right to sue him for defamation of character. I do. Because that is a public entity going against a private citizen. Um, Freedom of the press, however, allows them to take a story from a person, do a little extra research to make sure it's fact, and then run with it. All right, they have that freedom. They also have the freedom that if what they're reporting is a criminal act, they don't have to give up the criminal. So if they get an anonymous tip from a criminal of a crime being committed, they can report that, and the police can be left, well, how'd they get this information? Where's this stuff going on? We need to know. Well, they're stuck. They can't get it from the press. They got to do their own boots on the ground and figure out where that story came from and what illegal is actually going on and where. The producer, the press, the media does not have to say, well, we got this from so and so. No. That's a complete anonymous tip. Officer, you go figure it out on your own because we're not giving him up. It's that simple. Um, However, whatever the press reports has to be 100% factual. 100% factual. What the press did to Kyle Rittenhouse is actually illegal. It's called defamation of character and it's called slander. That's where the press, as private and public entity, publicly they defamed his character. Privately, they slandered the hell out of him. The press does not have the right to do that at all. The press can only report the facts. And that's where the press is wrong a lot these days. And a lot more people need to be sitting there going, hey, wait a minute. They just called me some SOB or something on there. I better get a hold of a lawyer. You should. If you have a press, local, national, it doesn't matter. If somebody is defaming your character on a lie, you have the right to sue them for defamation of character. If somebody is slandering your name on a lie, you can still sue them on that lie, whether they are press or private. So I tell you what, if it doesn't work out where you can sue the actual business, the media that is actually defaming your character, you can go directly to the reporter or the publisher that issued such a thing and go, hey, I'm going to sue you for slander. Yes, a lawyer can do that. You can do that as a private citizen. If you're willing to go to the courthouse and file the documents, you don't even need a lawyer. You can go up by yourself. with their $1,000 an hour lawyers, you'll still win. Because there's no way to say I didn't defame your character. No, as long as you got proof and documentation that you're not a white supremacist, and somebody calls you a white supremacist on television or in a newspaper, as long as you got proof you've never been to a Klan meeting, you've never assaulted somebody of a different color, or even if you did in self-defense, you, as long as it was self-defense, bingo, you can actually sue for defamation of character because you're not a white supremacist. Or even if they call you a black supremacist, that you're going out and beating the crap out of white people for no reason. If you're not doing that, please, by all means, take that reporter, take that editor, take whoever to the courthouse. Let them sit there with their $1,000 an hour lawyers. You show that to the judge and go, Judge, this is completely against my character. I am not this type of person. I would like $10 million from this business because, or, however much the limitation is on suing a single person, if that's what you wind up having to do. Do it. It needs to be done. There needs to be a correction. There needs to be checks and balances in any free state. Unfortunately, just because you're free to live and pursue happiness in the way that you see fit, that does not mean that you get to step on everybody else to do it. That does not work. Everybody else has the same rights as you do. That's exactly the reason why we have the Bill of Rights, is to say everybody has this and this and this right. And whatever rights are not covered by the Bill of Rights of the Constitution of the United States is covered by each individual state. If they wish to put a limitation on a right, they can. But they cannot put a limitation on a right that's granted to you by the United States Constitution. And I know some of you guys overseas are like, oh my God, he's driving me nuts because all he wants to do is talk about American politics. Check your laws. Just about every country right now has a constitution that tells them what they can and can't do. I know the American Constitution. I know bits and pieces of the British, what's it called? Magna Carta. Yes. Clear back in the 1500s, God gave a king the Magna Carta, which limited the rules of government in England. Now, granted, we brought it here to America, mixed it with the Native American culture, and come up with the Constitution. That's how we got our system. The Magna Carta has played a big part in many countries. I think Russia even has a Declaration of Rights or something in that matter. Please fill me in. Let me know what country you're living in and where I could find your guys's legalizations of individualities, which is all the Bill of Rights is what we can do legally here as American citizens. I don't know every country's. I know the Magna Carta. I know that there's one in Russia. I can't remember what the actual name is. We tried to give the Afghan people one, but we didn't think of them as several different tribes. We thought of them as a single country as a whole. And even the soldiers that served there was like, well, hey, higher ups, unless we get these tribes to band together and actually agree on one thing, this is never going to work, because these tribal leaders, they all want to do their own thing, which is great and all, but until we can get them to agree as a whole, they're never going to agree on a countrywide constitution. They're never going to agree on a countrywide Bill of Rights. And they're going to constantly think the tribe, instead of us as a whole. And To any of my brothers and sisters still stuck in Afghanistan, whether you be American or an Afghani interpreter and everything else, Joe Biden's a dick for leaving you guys behind. And any of my former enemy, the Taliban, don't come back. Don't try again. Because you're just going to piss us off, and then we're going to have another 20-year standoff. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to fight you again. You guys are a vicious and brutal enemy, and for that I tip my hat to you. But you piss me off again, I will be right back over there in a heartbeat, boots on the ground. I don't care if I'm with the United States military or not. I'm going to be over there to kick some ass again. Y'all have a good one.